Hello, hello, happy Friday to you all. My name is KJ Hamus, and this is our Friday Slow Flow Plus Yin class. I'm really excited to be here with you today to bring you this practice. So, as always, make sure you've got any and all props that you need. So, pillow or yoga bolster, blocks or yoga block equivalents, and then a blanket. And then I would recommend maybe a sweatshirt today because the idea hopefully is to start to cool the body down. Depending on where you're at, it might be super hot, like it has been here in Washington, D.C. It's been in the high 90s, and we got a little bit of a respite today, but that is going to go back up tomorrow as we reach mid to high 90s in there. So I was like, let's take this chance as the weather cools down to also try and cool down the body. So go ahead and grab any of those things that you need. I'm going to invite you tonight to find a comfortable seat, anything that's going to feel best and good for you and your body. So that can be moving up against a wall. Maybe you sit up on one of your props just to help tilt the hips or lift the hips above the knees. Feel free to do anything like that. If you find that sitting just doesn't call to you tonight, that's totally fine. Take something else that does call to you. I will let you know in advance that we are moving to a child's pose after this. So you might want to consider that and how long you want to hold the child's pose at the very beginning. So just as a warning, but if that's what calls to you, please feel free to do so. And I'm going to invite the bell here tonight to bring us into our practice. So as you settle into wherever you're at, go ahead and just start to take some really deep and natural slow breaths in and out. Beginning to orient yourself in space and time. The space being here and the time being now. Letting the rhythm of your breath become very natural, without forcing any change, without controlling it. As we start to settle in our practice, we take a moment to acknowledge and honor the stewards of the land that we are currently on. Here in Washington, D.C., we are on Anacostan land. We also take a moment to honor the teachers from India who have developed this practice, who have taught us this practice. We are reminded today and every day of the benefits of this practice from those indigenous teachers. So we thank them and we honor them as we honor the roots of yoga. Beginning to slowly let sounds from the outside world fade around you. Start to notice the sound of your own breath. Noticing the sound as it moves from the outer world into your body. Maybe how it moves and sounds in your body. Starting to become more familiar with our breath today. Notice the coolness of the breath as it enters in through the nose. And observe how it moves through the body. How is it flowing? What are the qualities it's bringing in today? So some days, and that day might be today, where it flows easily and smoothly. Maybe today the breath is a little bit more jagged, a little bit disjointed. Maybe it's causing the heart to beat a little bit faster. It's okay. Just observe and honor where you're at. Never being shy, never feeling like you're doing anything wrong. Notice how you feel. And I invite you in this moment to set your intention or focus for your practice. What are you hoping to cultivate on your mat this evening? Are you trying to make a bit more space for? What you need to make more space for? And then tonight, is there a way to let go of that which isn't serving you, even just a little? Allowing the body and the breath to free up. Make room for that which truly calls to you. If it feels okay for you this evening, start to deepen your breath, drawing the breath in through the nose, down the length of the torso, the length of the body. And then as you exhale, starting to ignite our main energy channel, feel the breath travel up the length of the body. This can move into an ujjayi breath if that calls to you, or you can keep it with a gentle breath in and out through the nose. As you inhale, feel the diaphragm expand out to the sides of the ribs, and as you fill the lungs, push gently the air down all the way. And then as you exhale, feel the diaphragm lightly lift up as the energy of the breath moves from the base to the crown of the head. As you continue here with this breath, moving the breath from crown of the head down the length of the body and then back up, what do you notice is happening? So we're moving the breath through all of the chakras, through our main energy channel. Do you feel areas that might need a little bit more attention tonight? Do you feel things start to open up? Is there a lightness? Is there seem to be more of a heaviness? Just observe those qualities without changing anything, without feeling you need to correct anything because you don't. Just notice. And no matter where you're at, in whatever comfortable position you're at, if you have taken child's pose, this might be a bit more challenging. So I would invite you to come up to your knees, bringing your hands up toward the crown of the head. As you inhale, gently move the hands from the crown of the head all the way down the length of the spine with the breath, as if you're moving the energy down with the breath. And then as you exhale, feel the energy and the breath rise from the root all the way back up to the crown. Starting to match the outer movement with the inner breath, slow and gentle, no rush. Free to let the arms begin to rest by the sides if that calls to you, or staying with this movement. Be here for about another 30 seconds. Gently releasing your hands down if you haven't done so already. And as feels good for you, staying with your breath, noticing that movement up and down the length of the spine, begin to find your way to a child's pose. 2 options for your child's pose: knees underneath the chest, if that'll feel better on the low back, or you can bring the knees as wide as the mat, to find the light opening of the hips. And again, it's light depending on how far you open the knee and how much you choose to sink into it. Always the option to place a blanket or pillow underneath the bum to help just bring the two spaces together. Totally optional. Active fingertips, press the fingertips into the earth. Wrists may lift up. Breathing here. You might walk the fingertips out a little bit farther, feeling a stretch in the low back. Chin can be on the mat or the forehead. Completely up to you. Breathing here. So still feeling the breath traveling up and down the length of the spine. Moving through our center. Take a deep, slow breath in. And a deep, slow breath out. On your next inhale, walk your hands to the top left corner of the mat. Right hand will rest on the left. As we begin to open up the two side energy channels. So feeling a stretch along the right side of the body. As you inhale, you might lengthen a little bit more. And as you exhale, feel as if your hip bone, your sit bone is pressing toward the right heel. Now, no, we've got thousands upon thousands of energy channels in our body. So while we're focusing on the three main energy channels, more or less in the center, we are also affecting through our movements, through our breath, all of the other energy channels that are radiating in and out of the body. We'll take one more breath in here and out. As you inhale, walk your hands past center over to the top right corner of the mat. Left hand presses on top of the right. Again, inhales can lengthen you. And as you exhale, feel as if the left hip bone is reaching toward the left heel. It does not have to touch. Just feel that gentle counteraction of the movement forward and the movement back. We'll take one more breath in here and breath out. As we inhale, bring your hands back through center. And then as you exhale, find your way to a puppy pose. So walk the hands out a little farther. The knees might come a bit more underneath the body as you draw the heart down. This one, your booty might be in the air. It might feel better to bring the chin down or the forehead, up to you. So targeting our heart center here with our breath and our mid and our upper back. So continue to breathe. If at any point this is just too much compression in the upper back, draw the hands in a little bit more. Allow yourself to come up. Let's take 5 to 10 slow and steady breaths here. As you take those breaths, breathing down the length of the body, notice the coolness of the breath as you draw it in through the nose. And maybe you notice the warmth of the breath as you let it release. Slow and controlled. One more. Inhale. Exhale. As you inhale, allow yourself to slide forward. Elbows underneath the shoulders or slightly out in front. Sphinx pose. Tops of the feet on the ground. So think more about this as shining the heart forward instead of really lifting and feeling the stretch along the torso into the abdomen area. You can feel that stretch, but we're thinking about drawing our heart forward, stacking the head on top of the rest of the body. So drawing our drishti into this, the physical focus. We've had our internal focus with our breath sound and our breath movement, and now we'll start to draw that outward with where we look. So our focus can help us direct our energy, and it can keep us grounded in the moment that we're Let's take just a few more breaths here, really pressing the tops of the feet into the ground. Feel as if the forearms are connected to the earth. We're going to take some movements of the spine, a variation on a cat-cow from Sphinx pose. So as you inhale, draw the heart through. As you exhale, press into the forearms, the tops of the feet. Lift the body, rounding the back. You don't have to come up very far. Inhale. Heart shines forward, shoulders rest down the back. Exhale, lift. Continue to move at your own pace with your own rhythm. Knowing that if this doesn't feel good to you tonight, go into regular cat-cows from tabletop. This is your practice. You're the ultimate authority. So do what serves you. As you're here, notice the movement of the breath, the movement of the energy. Got about 30 more seconds here. Take one more breath in. Breath out. Meeting back in Sphinx pose, inhale. Exhale, gently lower the heart down. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. As you inhale, step back into your tabletop shape. So find your points of contact, hands pressing into the earth and knees directly underneath the hips. Neutral spine, so crown of the head forward, hips back. You might even begin to feel the belly button draw toward the spine. Still want to make sure you can breathe and that the belly can expand so we're not sucking it in. Let's take a full breath in, full breath out. Distributing the weight evenly as you inhale, extend right hand, left leg, nice and long. So think about drawing your right inner thigh toward the center of the mat, placing a bit more weight into your left hand, which the wrist is directly underneath the shoulder. Press through your left hand and breathe. We're here for 5, 4, 3, keep breathing, 2, inhale, lengthen, exhale, gently set it down. On your next inhale, extend right leg, left arm out. So again, draw your left inner thigh toward the center of the mat, flex your back foot, maybe really press through your right hand, extend. Find your breath. So you might only be taking 2 breaths during this next 5 seconds, but they're long and controlled, and they help sustain you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, gently set it down. As you inhale, curl the toes under. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. So begin in this first down dog to take any movement that you might need. Walking your dog by pedaling out the feet. The movement might be the movement of adjustment in the shape. So notice where your shoulders are at. They might need a little bit more space if they're feeling a little bit tight. Allow the hands to go a wider. Feet might come a little past hips with distance. Breathe here. As you start to find stillness on an inhale, come to the tippy toes. As you exhale, feel the heels press toward the earth. We'll take that a few more times. Inhale. And then exhale. Last time here, inhale and exhale. As you inhale, draw your gaze up in between the hands. And on the exhale, slowly walk the feet to the top of the mat. Do your best to keep your legs as straight as you can. At a hips width distance, we'll find ragdoll. So hips width distance will be about 2 fists width here. Give or take, it's just an estimate. You decide, slight bend in the knees. Thinking about drawing your weight of the hips over the ankles to hinge from the hips. Again, the bend in the knees might get a little deeper as you do that. That's okay. Don't force the hamstrings straight. Be really gentle with them. Hands can rest on the ground, on shins, maybe up. Opposite hands reach for opposite elbows. You can come high in the back, giving you a really big hug. Let's take one more breath here. Breath out. As you inhale, start to find a flat back. Hands will come to shins to start. Crown of the head forward, hips reach back. So as we reach the hips back, we're not drawing all of our weight back. We're still shifting it forward. Think about this as strengthening the back. So we'll draw the core together. Shoulders rest gently. Breathe. Take a full breath in. And exhale to bow low. Bend at the knees as much as you need. We'll reach up here, go through the midline, a reverse swan dive. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, bring your hands down to your heart space. Pause for a moment. Use this as an opportunity to check in with yourself. Notice how you're feeling. Come back to your breath. Come back to your intention or your focus. It may have already changed your intention or your focus. That's okay. And as we're here, inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Gaze will follow the thumbs. As you exhale through a flat back hinge and bow low. On our inhale, lengthen, find your flat back and hold once again. Think about strengthening the back here. This is a prep pose, which we're not going to get into chaturangas tonight, but it's really good to help us strengthen. Find the ease here in the shape. Take one more breath in and exhale to bow low. On your next inhale, step your left foot back, low runner's lunge. And then as you exhale, bend the left knee down. On the inhale, we'll rise up. Keep your knees at a 90-degree angle to start. Uncurl the back toes. We'll have an opportunity to go deeper in a little bit, so start by the 90 degrees here. As you inhale, lift your left arm up toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale, draw the left hand to the right hip. You're going to take a twist. The right hand can come behind you in a half bind if you'd like. It can rest all the way through, or it can just rest lightly down back. So starting gentle twist, inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, allow the spine to twist where it wants to go. Avoid any aggressive movements with the spine. We're not going to force it to do anything it doesn't want to do. If it feels okay on the neck, go ahead and draw the gaze to the back shoulder without losing the integrity of the length of the spine. We'll take one more breath in here and breath out. Inhale, come forward, uncurl the back toes. And then as you exhale, lift the back leg up, high lunge. So hands can stay on the thigh, or you can start to reach the hands up to the ceiling. Note if it feels better in the body, you can always stay down on the back knee. Maybe then you start to extend the leg long. Find your drishti, your non-moving gaze point. So our physical focus, we've got our internal focus. See if we can match the two up. Right knee stacked over the ankle. Try and take the curve out of the low back. We'll take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, low runner's lunge, frame the front foot. Using your core, lift the right leg, step back, three-legged dog, inhale. As you exhale, bend the knees, stack the hips, open up. Shoulders stay square. Feel as if the heel and the toes are really trying to reach the left shoulder. We'll take a deep breath in and exhale, downward facing dog. Set it down. Take a full inhale and a full exhale. One more deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhale, look between the hands. As you exhale, step the feet to meet the hands and fold deeply. Inhale, reach up, look up, fingertips to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart space. And repeat on the other side. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Finding our flat back. Inhale, lengthen. Pause here. Notice how you're feeling physically in the shape. Do the hamstrings feel a bit more open? Does the spine have a bit more length? Or do they feel about the same? Always bend the knees as much as you need to. Take a breath in and bow low. Exhale. Inhale, right leg steps back, low runner's lunge, left knee over the ankle. Exhale, drop your right knee down. As we inhale, we'll come up to our 90-degree angle to start. Coming into our twist, inhale, reach right arm up. Exhale, twist toward the left. So your hands can stay here. You can take a half bind. Half bind can go toward the left hip. Maybe it's more on the back. Breathe. Inhales, lengthen. Exhales, twist a little deeper. Again, that's your deeper. Don't worry about anybody else. What feels good? How can we be kind and gentle to our spine today, working with where it's at? If it feels okay on the neck, go ahead and draw your gaze to your back shoulder without compromising the integrity of the length of the spine. We'll take one more breath in, breath out. Inhale, come forward, frame your front foot, uncurl the back toes. And then as we exhale, we're gonna lift on up, find your high lunge. I always have to make an adjustment in my high lunge. Work with what feels best for you. Nice long spine. Think about stacking left knee over ankle. You can go past it a little bit if that feels all right, but not too far. Lift arms up if you'd like, or keep them down. Maybe you come to heart center. Up to you. Breathe. Find your strength in your breath and in your focus. You got this. We'll take one more inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Exhale, frame your front foot, low runner's lunge. Using your core, inhale, pick up the foot, step it back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knees, stack the hips, shoulders square to the front of the mat. Right heel, right toes, trying to reach for the right shoulder. That was left heel, left toes trying to reach for the right shoulder. What a feat it would be for the right people trying to do that too. We'll take one more breath here. Breath out. Inhale. As you exhale, downward facing up. We'll take 3 breaths here. And let's start with a cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale, open mouth, let it go. Feel free to take that a few more times if that calls to you, or you can come back into breathing in and out through the nose. As you're ready, on your next inhale, look between the hands. And then as you exhale, step to the front of the mat and bow low. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to your heart space. Inhale, lift up arms. Exhale, hinge toward the earth. Flat back here, only for the inhale. And this time as we exhale, step your left foot back, low. On your inhale, drop the back knee, lift on up. So this time, you might decide that you want to go a little bit deeper in your legs. So you might extend the back leg long, or you can stay with your 90-degree angle. Either way, just take some gentle movements back and forth. And on your next inhale, again, meeting forward. We'll take a breath in, lift left arm up. Exhale, take your twist. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, come back through center, uncurl the back toes. And as you exhale, high lunge. Breathe here. We're drawing on the strength of our legs, really grounding down through the right. From here, start to wrap your left arm underneath the right eagle arms, or a really big hug. If you're taking eagle arms, draw the elbows in line with the shoulders, and see about drawing the arms away from the face. Round down through your right foot. Inhale, lifting up into one-legged Tadasana. Left knee comes into the chest. Find your balance. So this is about balance. Round down through your right foot. We're going to be strengthening then through the right hip. You can stay right here, or as you exhale, you can wrap the left leg around the right. Toes can come down to the ground. You can squeeze the thighs together without the ankle wrapped around the calf, or you can wrap the ankle around the calf. Think about drawing right hip forward, left hip back. Gaze in front of you. Arch the upper back just a little. Shine the heart forward. Breathe. On your next inhale, one-legged Tadasana. And then as you exhale, unwind, set it down, Tadasana. Shake it out. Moving on. It's hard to talk and teach at the same time. I still haven't mastered it. So go with yours. I'm a little out of breath. All right, stay with your breath. As we inhale, let's reach our arms up overhead. As we exhale, hinge, bow low. Finding your strong flat back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step right foot back, low runner's lunge. Dropping back knee, inhale, lift up. So again, you have the option to stay at 90 degrees, or you can extend the back leg a little bit longer. Take a few movements back and forth in the hips. Breathing here. You decide how big or small the movements, you decide what calls to you. Your next inhale, lean back into center. Take a breath out. Then inhale, reach right arm up. Exhale, go ahead and twist. Inhale. Inhale, come back through center, frame the front foot, uncurl the back toes, and then lift up, high lunge. Exhale. Draw on the strength of your legs, so squeeze the thighs toward the midline. Engage through your core, engage through your breath. Inhale. As you exhale, wrap right arm underneath. Eagle arms, a really big hug. Palms can touch, hands can clasp. Do what calls to you. Gazing forward as you inhale, one-legged Tadasana. Right knee comes into the chest. Round down through your left foot. Lift up through the core, nice tall spine. Breath in. Stay here. Exhale, eagle pose. Toes can touch. Squeeze the thighs, lift the foot, or wrap it. Maybe you arch the back a little bit more as you bend through the standing. Take one more breath in and breath out. Inhale, unwind one-legged Tadasana. Exhale, set it down, shake it out. Whew. All right, bring back in mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold. Strong flat back, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, step your right foot back, drop the knee. Bring your hands inside your foot. So start by taking some gentle movements back and forth. As you move, consider straightening the left leg, coming into a half split. Breathing here. So inhales forward. Exhales, half split. We're going to come into our first yin shape. We're going to take dragon pose. So as we do this, this might be a great time to grab a blanket or even your pillow to place underneath your right knee and a couple of blocks or black. Hands will stay inside the foot. You could always bring your hands or your forearms to the ground or to a block. As you press into the earth or to your block, try and find a little lightness there. Don't hold on to it for dear life. Be mindful of your right hip flexor. Don't want to force that to stretch if it's not ready to, because you can overstretch it. We'll breathe here. One trick I learned from a teacher of mine is taking one of the hands and placing them a little bit forward. That can help deepen the stretch. So we're on our left foot, so our left hand may come a little bit forward. You can always do that too if you're using the block by angling the block, allowing the left hand to come forward. See how that feels in the body. It's totally optional. Breathe. So we're going to start to cool down the body a bit more with our yin shapes. I know dragon may not always seem like the most cooling shape, so I'm sort of putting it toward the tail end of the transition here. But to help us do that, consider closing the eyes if it feels okay. Without gripping the eyes, keep them soft. Notice the coolness of the breath as it enters the body. Notice the rhythm of your breath, the sound of your breath. You might even start to picture a cool place, water, glaciers, mountains, a beautiful swimming pool. Continue to breathe. Remember, it's just a shape. Because in about 30 seconds, we're going to let this shape go. completely go. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Take one more inhale. Exhale. Breath in. As you exhale, go ahead and come into your half split if that feels good. Moans and groans are always acceptable after yin shapes. Move back and forth if you'd like. As you're ready, on an exhale, find your way to downward facing dog. See what movement falls to you there. That might be opening up the hips again. Maybe that's pedaling out the feet. Could even be a down dog twist. Whatever you'd like it to be. And take one more inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, gently step your right foot in between your hands. As you exhale, drop your back knee. Bring your hands inside your right foot. Inhale. And as you exhale, consider rocking back and forth between our dragon and a half square. Then beginning to find our dragon pose. Hands inside the right foot. Ground on the forearms. Use blocks as you need it. Again, consider maybe even bringing the right hand forward a little bit if that feels good in the body. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be just a switch. Totally up to you. Try and find some lightness in the hands. We're not working onto the block with your life. And then as you're ready, continue to focus on your breath. Gaze where this shape will be down without compromising the neck. By compromising the neck and you're going into the chest, just letting all the energy droop, letting our shoulders droop. About 30 seconds. We'll be letting this shape go. Take one more full breath here. Inhale. As you exhale, if you'd like, move to your halves. So really be gentle. Coming out of that can be a lot on your left hip flexor. You want to move with ease and with compassion. Staying here as long as you'd like with this movement. You're beginning to find your way to your downward facing. Make any movements that you need in downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths in and out. And then drawing big toes to touch when you're ready. As you inhale, extend the left leg up to the sky. As you exhale, cross left leg underneath the right side of the body. And then you're going to slide down. So our left leg is going to come out directly from our hip. Our right leg, let it go. As we come into our drunken warrior. Light flex in the right foot. I know it's probably hard to see my right foot right now, but there is a light flex in it. You can stay here. You can start to come down. So working into the outside of the body, outside of the hip. Into the IT band, into the fascial band that makes up the IT. Breathing here. If you find that the hip is really just like driving into your mat or your floor, maybe you take your blanket or your towel and place it up underneath. Focus on the breath. Start to let the body cool by being more mindful with any little movements that you take. And moving into the parasympathetic part of the nervous system. So we can do that through stillness. If finding stillness feels easy tonight, it might not. Another tool that might help is by drawing the tongue to the bottom of the mouth. Letting it sit there so saliva can pool around it. Hold it for about 10 to 15 seconds. Loose jaw, slight gap in the teeth. You might notice some changes there in the body. And swallow as you're ready. Let the breath begin to soften. I have completely lost focus on the breath, but it is starting to soften. It's starting to become effortless. So balancing that line between asana and moving into meditation, we find ease here in these shapes. Start to bring your hands underneath your shoulder, lifting your torso. And then bringing your left foot in line with the right, come onto your belly, brief huddle pose here. So thinking of this as just allowing us to melt like a gooey puddle. Maybe it's a puddle of water, maybe a puddle of chocolate, your preference. Just notice how you feel. We're going to stack the neck shape on top of our drunken warrior. So begin to draw your left knee. I'm going to show a case with my right now, into a 90-degree angle. So knee directly in line with the hip. Keep it on the ground. And then you're going to swing your right arm underneath your left, so you're threading the needle. And then from here, open up the upper body, take a twist. So depending on where your shoulders are, where your heart is at in this front side of the body, it might be a lot to have both hands extended out. So be mindful of that. Maybe you bend it slightly, maybe you put a block underneath it. Just be really gentle, or you can even just rest by the side. I'm thinking about opening up here and finding the twist. As you're in this shape, in this twist, check on the breath. If the breath feels like it's being stalled because of the twist, come out of it a little bit. Find that rhythm once again that feels natural and not hopefully stifled. Ease back into it. You never want to force anything, especially twists. About 30 seconds to be letting this shape go. Inhale. Exhale. Begin to gradually make your way back onto your belly. Take your time. It might feel good to draw the feet toward the butt. And then windshield wiper the feet from side to side. And then from here, moving into a tabletop, taking any movement that calls to you there, before finding your way back to your downward facing dog. Might be a great time to put on a sweater or a long sleeve t-shirt if the body's really starting to cool, which hopefully it's getting to that point because we are working on cooling the body. And then from downward facing dog, as you're ready, bring the big toes to touch. On your inhale, extend your right leg into the air. And then as you exhale, cross the right leg underneath the body, slide down. Let your back leg do whatever it wants to do. Bringing the right leg directly out from the right hip, like flexing the foot. Begin to fold. Now, I should have mentioned this on the other side, and I apologize that I didn't. Use the props that you need to bring the ground closer to you. So whether that's your pillow, your block, whatever you need here. You can flex your foot. And fold, looking into the outside of our right leg. Continue to feel the breath gradually and lightly moving up and down the length of the spine. About 30 seconds of you letting go of the shape. Taking a full breath in and out. Begin to, as you inhale, lift up the torso. Bring the legs together, and as you exhale, finding puddle pose. Checking in with how you feel, letting yourself melt. Feet can flap open. We're really starting to let go of the work here. And then stacking the neck shape on top. I'm going to demonstrate with my left. I'm going to invite you to move on to your right. So extend your right knee to a 90-degree angle, coming into a half frog, knee directly out from the hip. Bringing your right arm underneath your left, and then twisting. Breathing here. So twists at the end of your practice can be very cooling. It can help us reset the spine, reset the nervous system. See if it feels all right to close the eyes. We're still noticing the gentle movement of the breath. Just letting it all soften. The breath starts to become effortless. The focus becomes more internal. Even here in this moment, the outside world has really started to fade. Got about 2 to 3 more breaths before we let go of the shape. And as you like, start to unwind. Taking any final movements you need before finding Savasana, final resting pose on your back and your belly. Maybe you move to the wall and take legs up the wall. Whatever you need here, truly let the body begin to rest. Let it go. Let the breathing be natural. As easy as it can be tonight. Eyes start to soften. The roof of the mouth rises. As the jaw releases from its hinges. Maybe the toes and the feet start to flop out. The eyes, the roots just release, knowing they have no more work to do. Feeling supported by the earth. The ribs, if they physically could, would splay out and spread out on the sides of the body. And shoulders just retreat down the back. Neck is light, head is heavy. Begin to reawaken the senses, mindfully deepening your breath, inviting in movement that is gentle and that can transition you to a comfortable seat. Staying in Savasana longer if that is what you need, if that is what calls to you. As you find your comfortable seat, bring your peace fingers beside you onto the ground, rooting through your sit bones, feeling the connection with the earth. We'll draw our focus to the subtle energies as they move throughout the body, hopefully with the rhythm of the breath. Letting any thoughts that might arise just gently be placed on a cloud, just pushed out of the way, ever so gently. Focus and come to the space between the eyebrows, our third eye center. Allowing us to tap into our inner selves. subtle movement of energy can feel like little rivers flowing in and out, moving toward the spine, away from the spine. And thinking of it more, since we are electromagnetic fields, more in that technical sense. Maybe your energies have colors. Maybe just notice the feel. As this starts to become more familiar to you, letting the focus just remain in the center of the eyebrows, soft and light, with as little effort as possible. If it doesn't happen, that's okay too. Don't force it. It'll come with time and practice. If you're ready, take a full breath in. Exhale, open mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Taking that once more, inhale. And exhale. As we lift our hands to our heart space, we take one more moment to honor stewards of this land. And we'll bow our heads in a moment of gratitude, thanking ourselves for making time for our mat, and silently thanking those who joined us tonight to create this virtual community in this virtual space. As we lift our thumbs to the space between the eyes, the third eye center, we honor and acknowledge the Indigenous teachers who've come before us to bring us this practice. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace, Peace. Thank you all so much for spending part of your Friday evening with me. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to practicing with you again very soon.